Warning, the following is rated R18 for a reason. If you're below 18, you shouldn't even be watching this, so viewer discretion is advised. Yes, YouTube is probably flooding with nothing but videos by Baldur's Gate 3 since its official release a few days ago. But before you close this video, do hear me out first. Now just to add that I'm very new to the Baldur's Gate franchise. In fact, I only ever watched gamers play the Dungeons and Dragons franchise. I had never played myself. I did play a bit of Divinity Original Sin, but I hated how the controls work, so I didn't enjoy that game much. So for all purposes, Baldur's Gate 3 is the first game in the franchise that I played. As of this video, it's available only on PC, with it coming to consoles in another year and it just came out of early access. As of this writing, I'm still at one of the game, so there are still parts of the game I likely hadn't came across yet. When the announcement for Baldur's Gate 3 came out on Steam several months ago, it was touted as a role-playing game, with decisions that you make having an effect on the game as a whole, and so no two playthroughs will be alike. This game has a morality system as well, which is something I particularly enjoyed. You want to roleplay as a bad guy? Go ahead. Or you want to be a neutral party or even a good guy? It's possible as well. You control your own character, which you can create from scratch, and Baldur's Gate 3 has a comprehensive list of features in how you can create your own character, with it looking extremely realistic. And from what I heard, this is also the first game in the franchise where you can play as a half-elf, half-orc, or even halfling. The plot of Baldur's Gate 3 revolves around the Mind Flayers, and in the beginning of the game, you're one of the few unfortunate souls captured and taken to the ship, where your parasite forcefully inserted into your head. Much of the goal for much of Act 1 is to find a way to remove the parasite before you end up dead or as a Mind Flayer yourself. You can recruit companions to accompany you to battle. Azil is one whom you met early on in the game, and while she seems to be a personal favourite of many players, I personally just dislike her attitude in the beginning. Her constant bitching and sniping with Shadowheart, another companion that you can recruit in the prologue, gives me a constant headache. In fact, I switched her out very quickly for Astarion even while the instant I could, leaving Lazio and a human wizard Gale behind the camp, though it seems to me like half the recruitable companions I can get are mostly of the magical variety. Their companions don't just serve as a purpose to assist you in battle. They have their own personal character side quests which you can complete to know their stories better and even romance them. It doesn't matter what gender your character is. However, decisions and actions that you make throughout the course of the game does reflect how your companion sees you. If you constantly make decisions they dislike, for instance, they'll be very unhappy with you. On the other hand, if you bring their romance level high enough, you can even romance them. I have a personal bias for Astarion myself, even when I just met him, and I took lots of pains to bring his romance level high enough to the point I managed to get quite the steamy scene with him after the first major quest night I completed Act 1. The combat system in this game is very straightforward, though it took some getting used to. If you have played technical games like Fire Emblem before, it functions in a similar way, operating on a turn-based battle system. You can only move so far and has a limited number of moves to make. Magic spells I find can hit most enemies no matter how far away they are, but for certain spells, obstacles can get in the way. The terrain too has an effect on how far your character can move. Like mentioned, this game has a morality system, so if you steal or commit a crime in the vicinity of NPCs, there are consequences. Those consequences can range from vendors charging you higher than normal for the wares to being imprisoned. Certain decisions that you make too has a chance of failing or success, depending on the roll of the dice. I find that the higher your charisma is, the higher chance you have at succeeding. You can make camp anywhere you like if you need to replenish your spells by long resting. I, however, won't recommend long resting too much, as certain quests will move on without you, like the major quest at Emerald Grove. Long resting at camps, however, is also essential to moving forward with your friendships and relationships with your companions, and even the main story. If you have enough camp supplies, aka food you can find or buy during your journey, you can replenish your health and spells to full. Short rests won't cost too much time to pass, but has less of an effect on the restoration of your health and spells. Companions that you don't want to take with you in a battle will remain at camp. People whom you occasionally meet on your travels or by completing side quests will sometimes turn up at the camp too, like the White whom you can free early on in the game if you explore the ruins, or even Scratch whom you can invite back to your camp if you have the animal speech spell and is kind to him. Speaking of, if you go for a mage character or even has a mage companion, get the animal speak and detect thought spells as soon as you can. It will be something you will constantly be using even at 1. Overall, I truly enjoy this game a lot, and Baldur's Gate 3 really sucked me in right from the beginning. If you're looking for a new RPG to play, you might want to consider this game. though console players have to wait for another year. With that said, I do highly recommend the PC version as you can mod the heck out of the game. One of the mods I got is the outfit mod, in which I actually dress my character and companions with better looking clothes and gear than I can otherwise find or buy. The only complaint I have about the game is that for the life of me, I just can't figure out how to get mods working on the Steam Deck, and I've tried everything I could. So fingers crossed for Steam Workshop to come to this game soon. If you like this video, do like and subscribe to my channel. And I also appreciate it if you can support me via my Buy Me a Coffee page. The link in the description below. See you in the next video.